Alright, so once you're done with your DM, I was creating sync function, but I realized that it didn't record the voice because my headsets were off. So I'm not gonna write everything again, but I'm just gonna explain to you guys everything that I did. So also we need to remove this unload player text draws. Go to unplayer disconnect and just comment this. And comment this one as well. Okay, now to make sync function, come down to your stocks, then type SyncPlayer player ID. During syncing, you want to make sure that once the player synced, there is a delay between the time that he synced first and the next time when he syncs. For example, in Auto Arena in a dead zone, it's around 1 second. So if you sync, you shouldn't be able to sync for 1 second at least. So type, make a new variable, call it syncing, bold syncing, and then make sure you reset the variables in unplayer connect. So when the new player comes in, it's reset it for the new player. And in your sync player, type if player ID syncing is true. So if the player synced once and then he's trying to sync before, straight after the first time, then you can either send him a message saying you should wait, for example, for 5 seconds before syncing again, or you can just type return 1, which won't do anything. So the player won't be able to sync. Then type if is player in any vehicle, because if the player is in a vehicle, then you don't want them to be able to sync. So again, you can either type return 1 or you can send them a message saying you can't sync while in a vehicle or something like that. Then you set player syncing to true, and to make it to reset this variable, you need to make a timer. So here I have sync timer ex, then quotation mark, sync in progress. You can call it anything you want. For me, I put 1 second, so 1000 milliseconds is 1 second. So once the players sync, they shouldn't be able to sync within 1 second again. I don't want the timer to repeat itself, so I put false, and then I have to keep a record of the player ID. So quotation mark, either type I or D for a number, because player ID is a number. Then now that we made a timer, we need to make sure it does something. So I put here forward. Remember, for every timer you need to forward first. So forward sync in progress, public sync in progress, then player ID syncing false. So after 1 second, the syncing variable will be false, so the player will be able to sync again. Go back to your sync player. You need to keep a record of the player's HP, position, facing angle, interior, and virtual world. So create all these variables. Remember, I create HP 2, but I start with 0 and then 1. Again, the same thing for positions, starting from position 0 for X, Y, Z, and then the player facing angle. I got player interior, virtual world. For the weapons, you tap new weapons, because there's 13 slots of weapons, and you need to get the weapon ID and the ammo. Then loop through all the weapons. For new I equals 0, I is less than 13. Get player weapon, player ID I, the weapon ID, and the ammo. So now that you got everything, make sure you clear player animation, type clear animation, player ID, and ignore spawn.